Good evening, everyone. This is Eva. Thanks so much for joining me this evening. I'm kind of apologizing for the late start. Not really late start because we've been here, but we've just been trying to get our internet set up. And wait for anyone else that's coming on the call. So, thanks so much for being here again, guys. Really appreciate you showing up for this. And tonight, as you can see, we're going to talk about what it takes to create a money mindset and master your thoughts for wealth. So, if this is something, if you're, you know, if you're serious about starting a rich social work journey or leveling up your money yourself, then you've got to start with creating a money mindset. And we're going to talk a little bit about what a money mindset is and how you can influence your mindset for creating more wealth. So, just want to thank everybody for being here. Let me know where you're calling in from. As you know, if you have any questions or comments, you can always text me or email me at eva at evaforde.com. That's EVA at EVAFORDE.com. Or you can message me in our Facebook group and I will answer those questions as we're online tonight live. I think we're gonna have a little change in our broadcast from now on. I put up a poll in our Facebook group, and if you haven't seen the poll yet, do me a favor and check it out. I asked, what is the most convenient day or the best day for you to attend a webinar? Now, not many people have answered, but everyone who has answered so far has said Sunday. So we may end up moving this weekly webinar to Sunday and hopefully be able to accommodate a few more of you and get a few more of you on the call. So I just thank you so much for being a part of this community, being a part of this movement, and just let me know what time you'd like to meet, and we'll make it happen. It's as easy as that. Easy peasy, easy breezy cover girl. All right. So again, if you have any comments or concerns or anything you'd like to share or like to add, feel free to text me at Eva, EVA, Forde, FORDE, at, no, what is it? Eva at evaforde.com. That's what it is. EVA at evaforde, EVAFORDE.com. Or message me in the Facebook group. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Um, and just, for those of you that are here, again, just want to thank you for being here. We're going to be talking tonight about creating a money mindset and mastering your thoughts for wealth. So, whenever this topic comes up, the first question most people ask is, what is a money mindset? We're not going to get into that just yet. I am going to tell you, but Einstein says this: listen, education is not the learning of facts, but it's the training of the mind to think. And that gets us closer to understanding, what a mindset is. Now, if you are on the path to rich social work success, then it's going to be your mission to get as much education as much education about money as possible. This doesn't have to be overwhelming. It doesn't have to be, investing with money, or it doesn't have to be, stocks and bonds. It doesn't have to be interest rates. It doesn't have to be about that at all. You've got to start, as a matter of fact, with your thinking about money. So, what Einstein actually says is what we would describe as your money mindset. And that just means the programmed thoughts that you have about any given subject, and especially the programmed thoughts that you have about money. Did you know that your thoughts about money actually determines the amount of money that you have in your life at any given time and how much you make over the course of your life? I know it might not seem significant, or it might seem like, how can my thoughts about money just determine how much money I make? The economy determines how much money I make, or my job determines how much money I make, or my employer determines how much money I make. But that's not actually true. The truth is, when the economy was doing really well, um, wealthy people were doing really well as well. And poor people, maybe we're doing okay. Poor people, when I say poor people, that's kind of a blanket statement. I mean, people who aren't as wealthy as the most wealthy that we consider wealthy. People kind of, living paycheck to paycheck. But when the economy kind of turned down and people were losing their jobs and things like that, a lot of the wealthy people were still wealthy. And that's not because they had so much money. That's because they understood the fundamentals and they had a mindset for making money and for creating wealth. So they didn't have to suffer. That's the word I'm choosing to use. Whether or not you experience it as suffering or not is up to you. But they didn't have to feel that economic downturn as much as a lot of the others of us. And that's because primarily of the thoughts they have about money. So you've got to be able as well to master your thoughts, your attitudes, and the beliefs that you have about money. Um, some of these beliefs are conscious, and we're going to talk about those in a second, but most of them are unconscious. Now, I know I'm probably talking just to social workers. So you know what I mean when I say unconscious beliefs. Those are the beliefs and the attitudes that you don't actually know that you have. There's beliefs and the attitudes that you are actually not aware of, but believe it or not, they're running your life. So, what are some ideas that we have about money? Some common core beliefs include I have to work hard to make money. This is one that a lot of people have, and what ends up happening is they work really hard to make money. And they'll tell you, I work really hard to make money. But by contrast, you'll notice that there's a lot of people that are wealthy that don't have that same belief. And you may never hear them say those words, I work really hard to make money. They'll use words like, I work smart, or I have my money work for me. But they may not say those words, I work really hard to make money. Another belief is that money doesn't grow on trees. I used to have this belief as well until I moved to Jamaica and found that a large number of the population makes their living from the fruits and the things that grow on trees. And the thing that I was able to figure out is that actually money does grow on trees. Lots of it. There's apple trees, there's pear trees, there's orange trees. If you have a fruit bearing tree, or if you have a tree that someone could buy for their lumber, you're going to make money off of that. When you go to the grocery store, anything that's grown on a tree, you can't just walk out of the store with it. It could be a basket, it could be a banana. You're going to have to pay for it. And the amount of money that you pay, the fact that you paid for it, goes towards the farmer, the person that actually grew that produce for you in the first place. So money actually does grow on trees. It's just a different way of thinking, a different way of looking at it. Another belief that people have about money, a core belief, is that rich people are mean and stingy. I used to have this belief as well. As a matter of fact, I remember saying to someone, I don't want to be rich. I just want to be comfortable. And they said to me, why don't you want to be rich? And I said, well, I don't want to be mean or stingy. And she said to me, Why do you think that you have to be mean and stingy if you have money? And if that's your belief about wealthy people, guess what? You're never going to be one of them because subconsciously, you're not going to want to associate yourself with people that are mean and stingy. So you're not going to do the things that you think wealthy people do to get rich because that would go against your beliefs. So, and the other thing is, not all, she asked me another poignant question. She said, do you know any rich people? I had to say, no, I don't. And she asked me, so how do you know that all rich people are mean and stingy? I said, I don't know. I just assume, they could do so much more for society. And she said to me, listen, wealthy people are some of the most generous people in the world. But if you're assuming that they're all mean and stingy, you may never get a chance to meet any. And right then and there, that was such an epiphany for me. I started to change my beliefs about rich people being mean and stingy, and I started to change my beliefs about who I wanted to be, whether I wanted to be rich or comfortable, and the type of person I wanted to be if I had more money. So that was a real learning experience for me. So I challenge you to think about that for yourself as well. Another common core belief about money, people think that it's not for them. And they say things like, oh, I could never be rich. That could never happen to me. That, it's out of my reach. Wealth is out of my reach. And the truth is, it's not. The Mark Zuckerbergs and Bill Gates and, the actors and so many other basketball players and people who are wealthy are no more smart, no more inspired. They don't have any more time than you. And the great thing is, we live in a day and age where we have the best resource of all, and that's the internet. And you can make money on the internet if you learn how to, if you learn the skills. And I'm not talking about those, get rich quick schemes. I'm talking about building up your business or building up a product or service or sharing your skills and charging them and doing that on an online platform and making money. And you could absolutely very well be rich. It's absolutely possible for you. So, but if you're thinking that it's not possible for you, then it probably isn't. Now, Jim Rohn is a very famous motivational speaker. Very, very, very insightful man. And he made a comment. And the comment was that you are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. Now, whether or not it's 5 people or 5 influences, so it may be the TV or it may be different authors, you're reading different books, or maybe you're watching different video games. But the truth is, you are the average of those 5 influences. The 5 ones that take up the most real estate time in your life is who you really are becoming and who you really are. Now, if you take a look at this is what I would challenge you to do right now. Get out a sheet of paper and a writing utensil, and I want you to think about the 5 people that you spend the most time with. And I want you to write them down. You see these people every week, or you talk to them every day. Might even be people at work, might be people at your church. Maybe you're a loner, but you read a lot, so include those authors. Maybe you watch a lot of TV or you're online a lot and you follow a particular station or a particular blog. Write that down. Now, if you've got your list of 5, consider what is the average that those people make? And if on average, those people, you're impressed by the amount of money that they make, or you would be happy to make the average of what they make, then do nothing. If you're happy with their lifestyle, if you're happy with what they're able to do, they're able to go on vacation, if they're able to buy whatever they want, if you can see that for yourself and you're satisfied with it, great. But if you desire more for yourself, more for your family, more for your influence, more for your life, then you may actually have to get some new people to surround yourself with. It doesn't mean that you give up your friends. It just means that you absolutely have to upgrade the types of influences that you hang around and that you have in your space. So I want you to keep this in mind. And what you could, the next step after this would be to consider 5 people that you would like to emulate, or you would like to surround yourself with. Write those 5 people down and make sure that their lifestyles and the amount of money that they make supports what you would like to make in your life as well. Write those people down, because those people are the people that we want to surround ourselves with. And if we can't surround ourselves with those people per se, we want to find out what influences those people and surround ourselves with those same influences so that we get the same exposure and the same amount of impact that they get as well. Now, I hope you're getting something out of this. Let me see if anybody has any comments. If you have any comments, no comments yet. Okay, that's fine. So let's talk about what having a wealth mindset looks like. And I've made it here. I've said a rich money mindset. Let's talk about what this looks like. Now, contrary to what having a poverty mindset or core beliefs um, of people, a wealthy mindset sounds like this: money comes to me easily and frequently. Now, the first time I heard this, I was watching the movie The Secret, and I automatically balked. I said, absolutely not. That's just a lie. That I could never believe that. How could I believe that money comes to me easily and frequently when it hasn't? And at the time, I think, my lights were off. I had no electricity. I had no food. I had no resources really that I could use, or at least I didn't know, that I could use to quickly leverage my income. So that was kind of a stretch for me. But the more I paid attention, I really wanted to learn these lessons. So the more I paid attention, the more I said it, and the more I considered the ways it had come to me easily and frequently in the past, and the more I practiced gratitude, guess what? The more money actually did come to me easily and frequently. And it still does. Um, Another belief that people with a positive money mindset have is that money does grow on trees. And I shared with you what this might look like or sound like a little earlier. Just consider that everything that you buy at the store that comes from a tree, you have to pay for. You can't actually walk out of the store without paying for it. And the fact that you pay for it helps to provide jobs to not only the farmers, but to the distributors, to the horticulturalists, the people that grow or engineer the seeds for farming, the grocery store, the checkout attendant. So just by you buying that bunch of bananas or that fruit that grows on trees, you are sending money right back to all those people in line that have helped to make sure that it gets to you. That's real dollars. That translates into a real difference in someone's life. So don't ever say money doesn't grow on trees, because actually it does. Um, Another great habit that people with a wealth mentality have is thinking that they can be rich and generous. And this is where I had to get to for myself with my own thinking after I had that conversation with the young lady about not wanting to be rich because I didn't want to be stingy. She said, "You can be rich and generous." And to me, that was a novel idea. So I don't know if it's a novel idea to you too, but it's absolutely possible. And it's so interesting because I've met quite a lot of wealthy people since I've been on this rich social work journey. And one of the things that I've noticed is that a lot of the wealthy people I've met are so generous. They're so generous. They're so nice. They're very giving, and they're open, and they want to share their information and their wealth. And it's just been such an amazing realization for me. So now I totally believe that I can be rich and generous. As a matter of fact, a big reason why I want to be rich is so that I can be more generous than I am right now. And I want to be generous monetarily, not just with my time and not just with my information, but I want to be generous. I want to give money. So I know that I absolutely can, and you absolutely can as well. And finally, the thing that having a money mindset sounds like is I have the ability to be as rich as anyone else. And that is so true. A lot of times, especially in this day and age with reality TV, and any of you that know me know I watch the Kardashians from time to time, although I haven't seen in the last season or so. But, a lot of times we'll look at wealthy people and we'll say, oh, it must be nice. And, you know, we don't even consider that a life different from what we experience now could be ours. A life full of wealth and full of riches, and with the ability to travel whenever we want, the ability to buy anything that we want, and not living on a budget. A lot of us don't even consider that that's possible for us. But the truth is, you have as much ability as anyone else to be as rich as your little heart desires. You absolutely do, as anyone else. People aren't smarter than you. They don't necessarily have different tools or resources than you. Listen, if I could come out of a situation where I'm not even below poverty. What's below the poverty line? Not the poverty line, like what's below that? What is having no resources or feeling like you had no resources other than what was in your head? And luckily, I had good relationships with people, so I was able to get support from friends. Um, but if I was able to come from there to, grow a business now that brings in thousands and thousands of dollars, then, at a time, then you can too. There's absolutely no difference between you or I, and no difference between you and I and someone else who's famously wealthy. None at all. All right? It's just how we use our resources and what we think. So that's why having this money mindset is so important and really important to start with. Now, this, I'm not sure what happened to this slide, but it's supposed to say, um, hmm, it's supposed to say, the activities that we're going to do now. And the activity that I have that I want you to do now is this. I want you to write down, oh, it's supposed to say how to begin changing into having a money mindset. How to create your money mindset for wealth. So, this is what you're going to do. You are going to take a sheet of paper and you're going to draw a line straight down the middle of that center of the paper. And what you're going to do on one side is you're going to write down all the things that come to your mind when you think about money. What do you think? You think, oh, I wish I had some, it's hard to get. Um, write down any phrases that you heard when you were a child. Maybe you heard, I don't have a dime to my name. That's what I used to hear all the time from my parents. I don't have a dime to my name. You might think you might have heard, what do you think I'm made of? Money. You might have heard, money is the root of all evil. Write down any thoughts or any subconscious or conscious things that you would have heard about money, and just write it down on that one side of the paper. Okay? Do that for me. It may take you, write down as much as you can. Give yourself give yourself at least 5 minutes, but write down as much as you can on one side of the paper. We're trying to do a brain dump, and we want to just get out every single thing that we've ever heard about money or thought about money, um, that doesn't support being wealthy. So money is the root of all evil. Um, Wealthy people are evil, or they're mean, or they're stingy. Money doesn't grow on trees. I don't have a dime to my name. Anything like that. Anything that you've heard. Maybe something that you even rehearse. I'm broke. Oh, that's a big one. We say that all the time. I'm broke. I'm broke. I'm broke. Um, so once you've written all of those phrases and things on your one side of the paper, now I want you to look at your other side of the paper. And I want you to consider, what would the stark opposite of what you've written on one side of the paper sound like. So we've done a couple exercises this evening. If one thing would be money doesn't grow on trees, then the stark opposite of that would be money does grow on trees, right? If one idea that you have is I don't have a dime to my name, then the stark opposite might be I have more money than I can count. If one thing is money is the root of all evil, if that's on your first side of the page, then on your second side of the page, it could be having money the is the thing that will help, or having money is heavenly. How about that? Money is heavenly. I'm not sure how you want to word that, but I want you to write down the exact contrast from what your traditionally programmed beliefs are about money. And we're going to start to change our money mindset. That's really how it starts. Being aware. You've got to be aware first of what your money mindset is. And then you've got to start catching yourself when you say those things, and start deliberately saying things that more support wealthy money habits. And the last thing you're going to do is you're going to pick up four books. One is called Rich Dad Poor Dad, and that book is by Robert Kiyosaki. And what that book will do is it will help you to understand how the wealthy think about money, and how it's just little tweaks, little tiny baby tweaks in our thinking that can make a huge difference in the trajectory of our lives and in the trajectory of how much money we actually have in the bank. So I want you to pick up Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. And I want you to download. Now, these others you can download for free online, and you can listen to them on YouTube. They're recorded because they're kind of older books, but they've got timeless wisdom. One is called Think and Grow Rich, and that's by Napoleon Hill. Another one is called The Science of Getting Rich, and that's by Wallace Wattles. And the last one is called The Richest Man in Babylon. Oh, I cannot remember who wrote that book, but it's excellent. So get those books. Like I said, those last three are free online, and you can download them, or you can listen to them on YouTube. And those books along with that exercise, will start to help you retrain your brain for wealth. And like I said, it all starts in your mind. So if you have any questions or any comments, you can let me know. Although I'm not seeing any right here, I'm not seeing any in my email or on Facebook. So I just want to take this opportunity to thank you guys for being a part of this webinar. Thanks so much for being a part of this community. I hope you've gotten some great information tonight, and I really hope that you are able to use it to help you increase your mindset for wealth as well. Okay, everybody, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you again next week. Bye. How you going? How many people were on? 0.